why don't you start by introducing yourself, telling everyone who you are and what you do.
My name's Elvis. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Latvia, and I moved to the UK when I was 5 years old. And I attend Northeast Scotland College, and I study health and fitness. And I'm on my final year of HND. Ought to be a personal trainer, and in that sort of sense, that's one of my main goals, as well as a photographer and a model. Currently on Instagram, I have 13,000 followers. Majority are based in Aberdeen. A small percentage are based in London.
So what's it like knowing that 13,000 people visit your Instagram page?
It's quite interesting, really. The majority of it would be sort of work related to modeling, and quite a bit of it would be as well just fans who appreciate, the type of images I put in onto my Instagram, like, physique, fitness, my climbing stuff, etc. So all that sort of stuff is just, it's pretty interesting knowing that 13,000 people are interested in the type of stuff I do.
How much female attention do you get from your page?
Good question. Because of the stuff I post, a fair bit.
What about male attention?
More so than female. I would not do glamour or porn sort of stuff. Most of my modeling is already considered sort of like soft porn. But it's only nude and implied. I do a lot of fashion stuff, but in that sort of sense, I wouldn't take it much further to sort of porn scenario or glamour scenario. It depends, because a lot of these female models, they have their ass out or the boobs out. And was that the case with this model that you're on about?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so of course she would receive lots of hate for being, in terms, a whore or a slut. But that doesn't necessarily apply to me, because I'm a guy, and there's a bit of sexism going on there where girls get the hate and guys don't. Guys get the praise for that sort of stuff. So it definitely affects the genders differently. Most of my time is spent on social media. I'm sort of organizing events and organizing, the stats and stuff like that. A lot of work does need to be put in if you do want a successful sort of like media type of career. You need to be aware and alert 24/7 of like what's going on, who you're following, who's following who, and that sort of typical stuff. For myself and my friend Robbie, we tend to do quite a few stunts on the places that we're on. For example, a crane. In my previous video that I climbed a crane in Aberdeen, I did a full workout on the crane by hanging from the crane one-handed, doing pull-ups on it, doing all sorts of exercises on top of the crane. So that's the sort of stuff that we intend to do and be recognized by, because in the future that's definitely something I'm interested of being known for.
Do you think a little of these stunts are a bit too risky to do? Do you think it's worth it?
So there's always a risk aspect to absolutely anything you can do. You can cross the road and get hit by the car, and that's more of a risk than what we're doing statistically. So me and Robbie have been training for this stunt for over a year now, and we're still not comfortable with it, and we intend to train for another 6 months before we actually attempt it. And we have currently attempted that stunt, and we've been successful almost every single time. I'm able to hold Robbie whilst dangling off of my feet for more than a minute, as it is right now, and we want to achieve that for almost 2 minutes before we actually attempt the stunt, which will be in total about 20 seconds. There's only a very small % of people that actually succeed in that sort of stuff, and you need to go into it knowing that you will fail. And if you succeed, then props to you. You definitely will get hate. You definitely will get some love. But it just depends where you are at with it mentally and how you deal and how you cope with it. And I personally think I'm very mentally strong. So this sort of stuff doesn't faze me whatsoever.
What about your parents, your family? What do they think about what you do?
In that sort of sense, yeah, she's extremely worried. there was always times where I would climb, for example, Slane's Castle up in Cruden Bay, and she would get extremely worried and ban me from climbing and ban me from seeing my friends. And that was when I was much younger. Now that I've obviously made that decision, and she's learned to live with it, with the fact that there's no stopping me, and there's nothing that would change my mind and sort of like, you know, would I climb ever again? Absolutely. There's nothing that would prevent me from climbing. You know, somebody could tell me of all the risks and stuff. It would not faze me one bit, because I understand those risks and I've taken them into account. I see myself as potentially being world known for all the stuff that myself and Robbie have done. Something as adventurous as that, definitely. And in a short sense, fame for the risks that we take.
Fuck's sake, man. Yeah. Davis meant mushrooms.
Good morning, officers.
Sir Conwell.